The mic is on. I'm just trying to figure out what to say. What do I normally say? What's up, guys? This is Jan for Chess24, and welcome to a new episode of Banter Blitz. I believe it's episode 101. So that means people won't ask me to do anything special, probably for another 149 episodes. Oof, so that's a big relief. The pressure is off. But I did do something special. I was weighing the decision for quite a bit now. And if you think I'm kidding, you don't know how vain I am. I was wearing a t-shirt, but it looked slightly messy. And the only shirt I had in the office was this one, which first of all, I'm not supposed to wear because it has these stripes, so it makes like this screen go all blurry. And secondly, I don't like it. I think it's pretentious to wear a blue shirt with white, what do you call these? Sleeves? Collars? Feels like Michael Douglas Wall Streety, and I think we're not supposed to do that anymore. But after taking that impossible decision, which made me lose a lot of sleep, not literally, I guess. I could have slept the 3 minutes. I was contemplating it, but it would have been weird to sleep on the keyboard in the office, I guess. I don't know. I guess it didn't make me lose that much sleep. But it might be a figure of speech. What else has been going on? There's the World Cup running. Today is, I believe, the first rest day in the World Cup. Of course, yesterday was a sad day because my friend, Peter Svidler, got eliminated in the quarterfinals. Played a fantastic event. He always delivers in the World Cup. But yeah, it's a bit sad that he's out now. But kudos to MVL and the other quarterfinalists. MVL against Levon is going to be a big match. Wesley So against Ding Liren. What will also be very interesting. So looking forward to the, what do you call them, semifinals. I guess I should know this by now because it's tomorrow, but I'll probably do commentary in German, like let's say 76% that I'll be doing it. I'm still slightly sick and taking, what do you call those things? I should take English classes, but antibiotics, which have killed my cold, but I feel like they have a lot of side effects. I've never looked them up, but I feel like they're making me, I have no idea. It's all in my head. They could give me any placebo and I would feel the same thing. So, this is Banter Blitz. Someone now has the chance to post on YouTube. First game at 3:42 or whenever we play the first game. Challenge me to a game of 5-minute Blitz chess. If you are a Chess24 premium member. If you're not, go to chess24.com/premium. Become a premium member and then challenge me. And we might play a lovely game. I'm doing my very best to play a lovely game against all our premium members that ever challenge me. But since, fortunately, we get more than one challenge per session, it's not always possible to play all of you in the same session. I shall play Mr. Hara. Oh, it's a 3-man game? I prefer 5 because it gives me more room for talking nonsense. We don't get into flagging territory that quickly. But whatever works, works. I have a feeling I've played Mr. Hara a lot in bullet games, probably not in a banter setting. And we're playing the good old Nimzo Indian Queen C2, which has been giving me troubles recently. Not because I don't know how to equalize. For that, check out my video series on the Nimzo, like castles, A3, takes D5 and so on. Black is fine. It's not so easy to play for a win, which is normally what I want to do in Banter Blitz. Therefore, note to self, find some way. It's not that simple. Now, after Queen C2, D5, he played E3, which is doable, but looks a little more passive. Is doable a dirty word in a chess context? I guess not. Playable. So, after knight f3, c5, a3 is quite logical. I shall take here, and if he recaptures with the queen, I would try to expose the queen's naive, blah, blah, blah. See, that's a problem with 3-minute games. There's just no time for me to talk nonsense. What are we complaining about in the chat? We get the structure, which I usually dislike from the black point of view, but since he already committed to Queen C2, I guess it's okay-ish. Also, the knight on f3, bit of a mixed blessing here. I still think white should have taken on a6 and then put the knight on e5, because now I won't let him. Or I will let him, but I will take it. Portana is wondering, why disappear my challenge when I refresh the site? I don't know, Portana. Because the whole page has been refreshed. It's also complicated. Galactic is wondering, have you already asked Peter if he wants to do commentary during the candidates? Let's have some decency and give him a couple days. No, would of course be great, but of course, no, that feels inappropriate. Like, it's now unlikely that Peter will make it to the candidates, which he's talked about a lot publicly, that, yeah, this is the one tournament that really gets him going. So right after his big goal has been terminated, after he made a very, very worthy run for it, in my opinion, it feels very inappropriate to ask him. Well, we'll find out in the distant future. For now, let me take this pawn. I think I still haven't figured anything out after all these years, but I think I probably should stare less at the chat and focus more on the action, on the chessboard. That's so hard to. It's so hard to do anything really. Yeah, my pieces are a little clumsy all of a sudden. What have I done? I grabbed a pawn, which of course I was happy with, but somehow I should have managed to find squares for both my horses. Well, now this one got stuck on a5, couldn't go to c4, because then the other one would be hanging. Well, had I removed the other one, well, you get the idea. It's all a mess. Knight b5. Is he winning his pawn back? That would be most unwelcome scenario. I can't speak. What to do? I can't see a way to avoid losing that pawn back, which is very, very sad. Because, you know, I do love my pawns. I want to re-grab a pawn on a4, but it felt necessary to create a little luft before I go pawn chasing again. Even though, of course, that means that my pawn on d5 might also be gonzo. I'm not better, and I'm down to 33 seconds, so it's definitely time to start using the force. Willem the Force. Ooh, dangerous pre-move, because who knows, he might have gone while attacking my rook. Run, Forest. What was that? No draw. Yeah. High-level chess, rook c5 and rook b5 now, leads to sort of a drawn position. Knight b1, however, doesn't. This is the true purpose of Banter Blitz. Try to flag, but you're not going to be able to do it, the Hara. He offers me a draw, which I guess I should decline. I'm not sure what the polite thing to do is in such a situation, but it felt wrong to accept. Oh boy, the excitement! But I did win my first game, and as I said, I'm a bit of a bullet addict. Looks like I played a game or two against Mr. Hara here already. And thanks for the game. Let us play. Do we play more? What do we do? Kutumi is asking, is Jan the best looking chess player in the world? The answer is yes. Thanks for noticing. Like, we have all these regular chess beauty contests run by me in my house, and I normally win. Especially, no, I've been vain enough already. We should stop this. But no, let's play another game. What about Big Boy Archie? Big Boy Archie? Is that your name? Big Boy Archie? 2015. I hope I pronounced that correctly. From the Britons, the Great Britons. Oh, he played b3. b3 or not b3? That is the eternal question. And yeah, this is a line popularized, or I'm not sure if popularized, because he's always slightly worse out of the opening, but played a lot by Bahadur Jobava with the white pieces. Recently he's tried knight f3 instead of bishop to b5. Bishop b5, bishop d6 is a line that I believe is supposed to be fine. Knight to a3 is a move they play here. Then I thought this was clever for whatever reason. Preparing to meet knight c4 with d6. And using the fact that the knight is here now, so he can't take my pawn on e5. So even though it looks like I lost the tempo, the knight on a3 hopefully is a little misplaced for some lines. For the knight f3, d6 looks fine. But e4 looks even better because here he has to recapture with the pawn. Because if you do this, big boy, then your horse will drop. Big boy and Dre present outcast. But this knight was definitely an outcast if you don't protect it anymore. Now I'm a piece up, which normally makes me happy. And yeah, big boy resigns. Sorry about that. Here he had to go ed4, but then something's gone wrong already. c6, d5, and I'm very comfortable. So I have a feeling knight f3 is probably a mistake here. Not sure what he's supposed to do. Probably knight c4 takes, followed by knight c4. What do I know? But yeah, I'm not much of a b3 guy. Let's play Mr. Albert von Fineman. Is that a real name? Sounds like a made-up name. No offense whatsoever. Or some famous historic person, which I'm not aware of because I know nothing about nothing. Albert von Fineman. I apologize, of course, if it's your real name. I meant zero offense. I'm aware of Richard Feynman. Maybe that's what. So it's a combination of Albert Einstein and Richard Feynman. And what does the von stand for? I believe that is the only question left for us to figure out. I'm not much of a Catalanster, but sometimes I do it mainly to vary from going Nimzo or knight f3, d5, knight c3 every game. And I'm being told that Feynman is a physicist. I'm aware of that. Like, I haven't seen that TV show. That's how I get my education TV shows. What's called Manhattan or the Manhattan Project. But I had heard of Richard Feynman. But, so you're saying it's John von Neumann. That's the von? That could be. That's harder to guess. But I guess he's trying to tell us he's so smart, Albert von Fineman, that he can't name himself after one famous scientist. It has to be three of the guys. As for the position, the bishop is on d6. I don't know, the typical plan. To me, it seems like would be to go b3, horsey here, and then go e5, e4 at an opportune moment. He goes e5 before I could find my opportunity. Because I believe that's what opportune moment stems from. But I am not a native speaker, so I could be wrong about so many things. Many things. Before I had the opportunity to go e4. Yeah, I was wondering about this while he was pondering his next move. I believe I can take, but I'm so bad at counting, I better double check. dc6, ef3, cd7, fg2, de8 is check, so he can't give a counter check. Therefore, I would arrive in time to take the pawn. I shouldn't do the German TH on purpose, right? Because I do it by accident often enough that I forget to pronounce my TH, even though my English teacher always said, "Watch your TH, Jan." So I should not mock my own accent, because I will do it accidentally. Oh boy, those are the bits. And Albert von is now weighing his options. He played the best move, bishop d7. When, even though I am 2 pawns up, which is nice. Why am I 2 pawns up? It feels like I only deserve 1 pawn up. I took one here, and then I took another one here. Okay, I did take a lot of pawns, because this one also falls. So even though I'm 2 pawns up, I have to be a little bit cautious. Because he could pin me rook c8 and bishop b4. My king is slightly exposed after some bishop h3 business. So minimum care is what is needed. Bishop b4. Yeah, not that easy yet. I shall unpin, but I'm slightly concerned about takes, bishop b5, queen d2, say knight e4, takes, and my light squares are a little if you catch my drift. Big champion Albert von Fineman. See how I mispronounced that as well to make it sound like it's an English show? Albert von Fineman. Then again, Fineman, he was probably an American, right? So it's probably pronounced Fineman, not Fineman. Queen c7 looks wrong. He should have gone knight e4. Because now he's not going to be able to force me to make any concessions. And unconcessioned, I'm pretty good. Where's my cuff button? And we're back. Do you see me trying to hold in that cuff earlier? It's not an easy thing to do, I feel. Sometimes it's awkward, or maybe. Mainly it's me being awkward, I guess. But sometimes you're in public and you don't want to cuff. But it's very hard to resist it, isn't it? Maybe not. Stop attacking me, Albert. Queen d4, was that a little careless? Yeah, who cares? Let's grab pawns and worry about the other stuff later. Queen d7 looks a bit passive, does it not? And Shaba's pointing out I was thinking about the same thing. He's saying, I think he means sneeze, not cuff. I did mean cuff, but it's true that it's probably much easier to resist cuffing than it is to resist sneezing. So I'm going to have to rethink my positions and my moves, but mainly my position on cuffing. Can I go here? This is a bit greedy. I shouldn't do this, because after rook c1, king g2, there is potential for blundering into some sort of checkmate here. It's not likely, but I have to worry a little bit about some b6, bishop c8, queen h3, checkmate. Whatever. I'm a worrier. I'm a pleaser. Doesn't mean that I'm trying to make this show good so it pleases you. But I still want people to like me, which is not the way to live your life. Or is it? Maybe you should do something for people to like you. Anyway, these are my usual very profound thoughts, which give this program its uniqueness. Oh boy. I'm trying hard to lose on time and to blunder all my pawns back. My position still looks good, but it certainly looked better a couple of moves ago. And the commutator is saying FYI, cuff pronounced like cough. Stop saying cuff, it's irritating. Say cough, like you're supposed to. Cuff is the white part around your wrist on your fancy suit. Not that fancy suit. But yeah, thanks the commutator for explaining that. So it's cough. It's true. Cough medicine. Cough button. It reads like cuff. So confusing. Never make fun of somebody for mispronouncing a word. It means they learned it by reading. Even though I normally will argue that I don't read. I'm getting some requests here. But I'm doing stuff. Not gonna be able to do it right now. We had this new, what's it called? This new wonderful thing called Slack, which I'm still not sure what it does. Is it like Skype or like email or like some group chat? But it's convenient, and everybody seems to be using it these days. Not a plug, just popped up on my screen. And Albert von had to part ways with his queen. And Shaba points out. By the way, is it Shaba or Saba? I get that wrong. I know you've explained it to me 18,000 times. I also asked Leiko because I was unsure how to address Shaba Balok. And I'm pretty sure it's Shaba. But I still constantly get it wrong. So apologies. He's saying as if Jan knew how to read. See, I just read that. Slightly, well, some mishaps along the way. But I do know how to read. Trust me. Believe me. Another guess game, chess game, chain of guess. Who can I possibly play? What about this guy? Kutumi? Is that? That sounds dark. Kutumi? Maybe not. Maybe it's just like Batumi, city in Georgia. Kutumi. I'll Google it because I want to get to know people. Not by ever talking to anybody or leaving the house or leaving the internet, but by Googling like usernames online. Kutumi. Meister Kutumi. That's spelled differently. A medium called Kutumi. I don't know, man. Anyway, we're playing what could very well be either the Marochi after e4 or boring unnamed position after g3. Normally I'll go g3, but once in a while you gotta mix it to win the biscuit. And we shall play this good old line. I'm more of a knight c2 guy than a bishop e3 guy. I believe objectively maybe bishop e3 gives you even more of an advantage. But I like the concept, in theory, to keep as many pieces on the board as possible. On the internet, everybody plays bishop e6, which is not really covered by theory. In the theory books, knight d7 is always the main line. But bishop e6 is what people do in the internets like 8,000% of the time, according to my statistics. Still, even though I do know that, I never got around to figuring out what to do against bishop e6, really. So I will awkwardly try to defend my pawn chain, hope not to blunder any tactics connected with b5 and queen b6 check or whatnot, and take it from there. h6, very deep. I don't know what h6 is about. Should be 3, knight g4. I don't want to think about it. All these knight g4, so I'll get out the way. If h6 is his last move, it does seem like he doesn't have any particularly impressive or pressing agenda. Knight d5 in this structure after bishop d5, ed. I feel like I'm doing good. So that seemed like an obvious choice. Knight b8 is what he's going to have to do. And then I can try to somehow make something happen on the what's called the king side. Probably starting with f4. Goes knight e5, but that just asks me to play f4 with tempo. And I have never been Shia LaBeouf about grabbing pawns. If there's one thing you know about me, Kutumi, it should be that I like pawns. Secrets of pawn endings. All kinds of pawns, really. So far so good, so now I should somehow either get my knight to f5, that would be nice, or maybe play f5 and take the pawn. Take the pawn. Or maybe develop some pieces first. So many things to do. I'll err on the side. Is it error or err? Another frequent error I make. On the side of piece development. Oh, bishop b2, rook e1, whatever. It is a fairly pleasant position. I should also, at some point, go g4, g5 and finish the game. At what point shall I do that? He goes knight e4. For real. g4 now, then e6. Could also go f5, then knight f6 is more or less forced. Rook f3. So many options. I'll go here, even though I dislike it already, but that's normal. Whenever I make a move, I will dislike it pretty much instantly. Which is, once again, is not a way to live your life. Knight d2, f6 check should be winning, so I did not blunder an exchange. But after knight f6, I'm not so sure if f5 really did me any favors. He's calling my bluff. All right. I wasn't bluffing, though. Kutumi. Sometimes you call a bluff and your opponent has it. Should I be bragging already or should I figure out how to win first? King h7, knight f5. It does look very checkmatey though. Pre-move. This does not help. I believe it is checkmate next move. Because I'm not the type to slow roll and go queen takes d2 or stuff like that. Thanks for the game, Kutumi. Yeah, that went wrong quickly. In general, this h6, knight h5 plan looked very flawed to me. And let's play more games, more chess games. Got a bunch of non-premium challenges. I'm not allowed to accept those, my apologies. But I'm allowed to accept Mr. Später. Why not pretend I know how to play the modern? I guess what you do is you go g6, bishop g7, d6, a6, and then take it from there after a4 or whatever, bishop g5. I think if they allow you to go b5, you do it, then bishop b7, and then hope for the best that some b4 or c5 will be nice and active. Well, if they don't allow you to go b5 and play a4, I'm not sure what you're supposed to do. Probably b6, bishop b7 anyway. So that's my very sophisticated understanding of Le Monde. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to delay knight f6 because of, let's say, bishop h6 or e5. But it feels more modern not to develop my kingside. Hence, I shall do that and probably go for some quick c5. Then again, if he castles, c5 takes, knight c5, nah, looks doable. So I went for the c5 business. And he goes dc, which is logical in a way, because after knight c5, I am behind in development, and then white is supposed to open the position. On the other hand, though, my pieces, the few that are developed, look fairly nice and active and well placed, while the white pieces look a little, some offense, a little all over the place. Therefore, I'm not so sure about anything, really. But now I feel I should give up the modernist, whatever. Is that a movie, The Modernist? Like The Mentalist or The Machinist? Yes, I know, The Mentalist, not a movie. And is it The Machinist? I feel today is mispronouncing day. The Machinist. Also, I did not adjust my jacket properly. Now that's really unforgivable. Bishop h6 is a good move. He should exchange my dragon bishop as long as there is still time. And I'm not really better anymore after bishop h6, which annoys me. I'll change the structure out of annoyance, but I feel like it makes some sense. e5, of course, weakens the d5 square, but it's now some Najdorfy structure where this, in theory, would be my bad bishop. Therefore, e5 feels logical as a reply to bishop to h6. After takes, I can do whatever. Somehow prepare d5, even though that seems unrealistic. And Speter adjusts, goes bishop g5 back, doesn't want to exchange bishops anymore, which is fair enough. But I still feel like I'm doing fine now. Without you, baby. Speter is trying, I guess he wants to play knight d5 here, getting some opposite colored bishop structure, but generally this structure should be pleasant for me, because I have this pawn majority on the king side, and if I can get in f5, e4, or whatever, if I can get in any king side initiative, things will be looking good. Therefore, yeah, white, normally in the Najdorf you get this structure with your queen side already ready to rule, like your pawn on c4, and you can prepare these c5 breakthroughs, which here won't be so easy, even though I think c4 might still be the best move. He goes g3, which is interesting. Does this blunder material? I could take and then go e4, I guess, and try to take on a1. I'll take here and then think about it. Knight takes d5 would have been a mistake. First of all, strategically, and second, probably also tactically, after bishop e4 or bishop g6. So cd, now I have a choice. I could go e4, as mentioned, grab the exchange, which should be more or less winning. Or I could do this, which should also be more or less winning. I don't know, I feel like pawn hunting, not exchange hunting. If he goes queen a2, then he will leave me no choice but to go e4 and grab the exchange. But for now, I'm happy with just a little pawny. Okay, the horsey I will take as well. I don't think I lied about I'm happy with just a pawn. I was happy, but I'm even happier after I took the knight as well. So thank you for the game. Let's play against Mr. Dale Allenson. Where's Dale from? Australia. It is my theory that all the coolest people are either Australian or Canadian. And probably, so I don't get into a Flight of the Conchords situation, I should include New Zealanders on that list. Even though I don't know. I barely know any Australians or Canadians or New Zealanders, which is maybe why I have that theory. But it still feels like those are the most balanced. See, I have no idea even how to compliment you guys. But in my mind, having never been to any of these places, those are the best people in the whole wide world. Some offense meant to everybody else. But that's just because I've been there. And I'm a horrible... What's the word? Misanthrope? I also don't know what that means. But I do know, Dale, that after c-d-e-d, bishop g5 is what you're supposed to do. Why would you lock in your own bishop on c1? Poor guy, look at him. He doesn't get to have any fun now. It's still possible, and having done that, you should go for f3, try to prepare a quick e4. Because if you allow me to, well, just develop normally as well and control the e4 and e5 squares, my next move would be rook to e8, then the black position is already very pleasant, because my pieces are facing the king side here, while white pieces are not really doing a lot of constructive work here. Therefore, yeah, this e3, knight f3 combination is normally not very good. Try to get your bishop out, and if you end up in a position where it's trapped, which sometimes you get via e3 nimzos, for example, then try to play for a quick e4. Here, you must suffer. At least that is my plan. What are we discussing in the chat? I could go bishop h3. I'm a little worried about queen b7. Not that worried, actually. I'll do it. Let's see what comes out. What goes in must come down. Queen b7. I didn't really calculate it all the way, but queen g6. It feels like good things should happen to me. After knight f4, can I force the issue? Take, let's say, queen g6. The lazy move would be bishop to c8, which is, of course, where I'm strongly leaning. But I should at least calculate bishop f4, ef, queen g6, knight g5. Ugh. Who has the time? Let's go home with a little sweetie. Little sweetie? That sounded wrong. Little treat on h3. H treaty. Well, yeah, as I pointed out, this is not a good position for white to get into. 95, I guess. Take another pawn. I'm sorry, all these games are becoming, once again, pure pawn-grabbing enterprises. I try to play more exciting chess. I just don't have it in me. Like, why would you part ways with a little pawn? An innocent little pawn that is still full of hope, has not been turned into a cynic yet, just for the sake of some temporary initiative. It feels cruel to me. And in any other game but chess, we would not be praising pawn sacrifices or gambits in general. We would say it's inhumane to sacrifice these valid little units. Well, in chess, you want people to give up part of their mighty army just for the sake of entertaining us, which just feels so wrong to me. It's Gladiator all over again. No. There's something wrong with my teeth. I should probably brush them once in a while. I'm kidding. I'm not kidding about being something wrong. But, you know, you got it. Anyway, I'm trying my best to mess up this fairly good position after knight of 8, rook e8. I actually, once again, will have to go back to paying some attention, which I hate to do, as we all know. So should I go back here? Queen c2. This bishop annoys me. Let's block the bishop as a starting point. Then at some point I should get my pieces out as well. But since I have more pieces, it's not really such a priority to get them out. I'm not sure if that's the rule. So yeah, now I have consolidated my extra piece and bunch of pawns and all the good stuff. Therefore, I'm fairly optimistic about leading this game to its rightful conclusion. Yay me. And yeah, I'm aware I might have had some other ways to finish this game. But when in Rome, all the roads lead to Rome, as a wise man once said. This queen did not have a lot of squares, therefore Dale Allenson resigns. Thanks for the game, Mr. Dale. Let's play more chess games. Why not, right? Looks like there's a lot of Australians. Is this like prime time in Australia? Because it's sort of early in the Europes. So this gives me a chance to crush all our Australian premium members, which is a rare treat. And let's get them all out of the way, as long as we have the chance. What time is it in Australia? Do you guys have more than one time zone? Nah, it's a tiny country, right? Australia time. Can I Google that, or do I have to put in Sydney? Okay, it's a bunch of times. In Perth, it's 1944. Kingston is in Jamaica. You can't fool me. 22:44. Canberra, 21:44. I have a feeling there's a theme here. It's 44 everywhere. Surprisingly, it's 44 everywhere in the world right now. Just the hour changes, never the minutes. I know, it's mind-blowing. I don't know this line, but I've seen someone do knight e5 and then bishop f4, knight c4 or some crazy stuff. Which crazy stuff though? Bishop f4? Looks logical enough. So how many time zones does that give Australia? 1, 2, 3 we can establish. But there must be some place in Australia where it's 20:44 now, right? Or 8:45, as we say. So 1 p.m. is the time to crush you Australians. Who knew? Because it's still too early for the Americans, who I heard had a horrible last season. Oh, give me that queen. I want to trap it. I want to go a3, and I want your queen to have no squares whatsoever. So yeah, it's still a bit early for the Americans. It's like early morning in most of the US time zones. And it's also, yeah, it's working hours in the Europes, so also not ideal. But Australia it is. I still want to trap your queen, just to avoid misunderstandings here, Casper needs. If you take, bishop takes, queen a4, b3, it's still gone girl on a4. It would have to go to b5 or a6. And then after knight d6 check. Boom. And I'm being informed, I'm wrong again, that there are a few spots with half-hour difference, believe it or not. Is that true? Where's a half-hour difference? Give me any time zone where it's 1/4 now. I find that hard to believe. But normally, people are right on the internet, especially if they are premium members. That's what I've been told. Premium members are never wrong. And that is an impressive feat. Zarathustra 2014 is saying, Saludos desde Chile. I like your shows, very fun and instructive. Thank you, Zarathustra 2014. What time is in Chile? Is this also prime time in Latino America? I've never been to Latino America either, believe it or not. So today is my great chance to make a lot of new friends and then never ever talk to them again. Maybe I should... Can I Google Chile time? I'm so bad with time zones. It's 8:47 in Santiago de Chile. Now that's not really prime time. That's early morning. See, I don't know stuff. And I'm being told Venezuela is half an hour different. It's hard to believe. Caspani's resigned here because of the inevitable faith. His queen was gonna run into queen b5, knight d6, or queen a6, knight d6. Yeah, like I said, I'm not a big specialist on the theory here. I guess you're supposed to take, right? Does that make sense? Then can I go de, queen d1? Doesn't look like much. No, I'm not sure. I honestly don't know. Knight d5. I think I've seen people go knight d5 here. That looks logical. And Nepal Standard Time is UTC plus 5:45. Oof. Also confusing. But at least we've once again learned something. For example, how not to pronounce Nepal. It's Nepal, not Nepal. It's not napalm. And I will continue our Australian trilogy and then start playing stronger players again. This, yeah, has been a lower-rated trilogy, but like I said, we must play the Aussies once they show up. I know very little about Aussie culture. Did I manage to accept your challenge? Maybe I didn't. I tried though. Can't blame me for not trying. What went wrong here? Now I managed. Hooray. Oops, that's a mouse slip. I wanted to go d4. I would never play d3. It's such a dumb move. So, my apologies, Samuel Mac Ritchie. I meant no disrespect whatsoever by playing d3. I just did not have the strength in my hand to push the pawn all the way to d4. Still, when life gives you d3s, make English openings, I believe, is a well-known saying. So that's what I shall try to do. And go c4, knight c3 here. After castles, I'm going to have to do some soul searching, how I want to arrange my pieces. After d6, I feel like, since after d6 it's less likely he will follow up with c6, d5 so quickly. I feel like you could make, it's still a clumsy move. I was going to say you could make a case for going e3, knight e2, but I already dislike it, because black can still play c6 here, where my setup looks a little silly. I believe after d6, e4, knight f3, or rook b1 are all more worthwhile ways to play. And Samuel Mac Ritchie gives me this little pawn, which I like. It would be excessively greedy to grab this exchange. Weaken all the light squares around my king. So you get the idea of exactly what I'm going to do. Alright, so what do we know about Aussie culture? A country I've never been, So most of my education about Australia comes from either Desmond from Lost, from the many race wars in parentheses they fought on Flight of the Conchords. No, that's not true. That was a different scenario. So, yeah, I mainly know the biased, I'm sure it's very biased New Zealanders' perspective on Australia. What are the cliches? It's an expensive place, that much I've heard. I've heard you guys enjoy shrimps on a barbie, even though that's probably untrue. But that's what we are told. Anything else I know about Australia? It's supposed to be beautiful. Like I said, I believe it's all the best people, except for Canadians. Nah, that's it. Koala bears? Yeah, it's not a wealth of knowledge I'm revealing about Australia here. I've never read a book that's set in Australia. I believe Nesbo, his first book, is that in Australia maybe? Maybe I should look into that. There's a movie called Australia, starring Nicole Kidman, which I heard is not very good. So yeah, I don't think I'm doing a good job making Australian friends here. Oh, I haven't brought up Crocodile Dundee yet, which you should give me credit for. As for the game, Samuel Mac Ritchie does a good job actually trying to find compensation for the exchange by annoying me on the light squares. I was tempted to go queen d2, but then bishop takes e4 and knight f3. It's all over the place, so I thought queen c2 was a more prudent choice. When, I don't know, I can castle out of it. Knight f8, very deep. Where you want to go? To e6? Probably to e6. But we're still not done with our Aussie special topic. What sports are you guys good in? You're good in hockey, like field hockey, right? Probably rugby. I don't follow rugby. Maybe cricket. I don't follow that either. Must be other sports. Pretty good in basketball now. Bunch of Australians. Joe Inglis is my favorite Australian player. You have all the dangerous animals over there, like koalas. Koalas seem vicious. Yeah, it is an educational show. Tell me, now that we have all the Australians here, what do I need to know? Where do I need to go? Sydney the place to go? I know Perth is like on the other side, and it's a real pain to go to a concert in Perth, because most bands that come to the Australias, I believe is the continent's name, they won't bother to go all the way to Perth. Is that correct? So you have to travel to whatever the other coast is called, the West Coast, East Coast, I don't know, to see your favorite musical group. At least that's my theory. Oh, you have Heath Ledger. He's Australian, right? Isn't Heath Ledger Australian? We need to find that out. He goes king h8. He sees through my... Okay, it wasn't very deep, but I still was very proud of my trap, that after c6 you can go queen c6 and knight e7 check. So now I have to readjust. That is unfortunate. I don't know what to do though. Knight c5. Do I take? Samuel Mac Ritchie putting up big fight here actually. Gimme. I'm being informed that Imagine Dragons are Aussies. I'm so out of touch with especially non-hip-hop music, so I know nothing about Imagine Dragons. But I'm aware they're a popular band. I hope it's a band. If it's like some shampoo or something, that would be awkward. But I'm pretty sure it's a band. And Dale Allenson is saying, Australians don't admit to Imagine Dragons, mate. They're not a cool band? Yeah, Passion points out that Sydney is expensive. That's what I've heard. In general, Australia is an expensive place, isn't it? Not that like Hamburg or Western Europe is for free, but I have heard. Not a cheap place, the Australias. Even though I'm guessing. Depends on the area. I don't know stuff. I'd like to go. Now that I'm not a chain smoker anymore, I might even be able to survive the... How long is a flight? Like 22 hours? Still sounds painful. Maybe next time I'm in Thailand, I can like... From there, you're halfway there, right? You can pop over to Australia? I don't know how stuff works. As for the game, I should try to not lose on time. It looks like I've clarified the situation kind of to my advantage, even though shout out to Samuel Mac Ritchie, who's played a very good game. I slightly relaxed when I saw his rating, as I often do. I judge a book by its cover, or a player by his rating. But up until knight takes f2, rook f2, he put up a great fight. So kudos to him. Oh, he wants to give a check here, which does not really kill me. Should still have prevented it just for... I don't know. Aesthetic reasons, but I don't really know those. So am I done listing all things I know about Australia? I played against Anton Smirnov. And no, that's it. That's the list. So we complete our Aussie trilogy. It's been a great pleasure, guys. And next time we do a show at 1 p.m. my time. I'll see all of you again. Hopefully. Oh no, there's more. It's never ending. The whole show. Is this like, do we have a filter? Only Australians, only Oceanians are allowed to partake in today's show? I wanted a higher rated opponent, so we can get the best of both worlds, have a strong player and another Australian. Mallesh 888, at least it's not Mallesh 666. And my best guess is, now that I think about it, that it's actually Miles H, not Mallesh. But I could be wrong. Very often I could be wrong. Let's do this. Normally I play either b5, bishop c5 or bishop e7, which I play like 98.2% of the time. But when I was a young man, so much younger than today, I used to play this line bishop c5, c3, b5 and d5, which recently I think Kramnik played bishop c5 against Vichy. I thought this line was supposed to be in trouble for black. But if Kramnik does it, he normally has something up his sleeve. Here, this is, stuff from my childhood. We used to analyze d4, ed, rook e1, and I think it's supposed to go bishop e7 maybe. I don't know, it was some weird stuff, but here I thought black was supposed to equalize. Knight e5, can you do that? Whoa. So aggressive, Miles H. Okay, let's first take the piece back, and then think of stuff to do. Bishop h3 is the cutest move that comes to mind. When I would guess he has to play f3. The problem is he might be able to get away with that. So what else can I do? Bishop b7 doesn't look bad either. Once again, it feels like he has to go f3. Then bishop b6, rook e1, knight fd7. Looks like a very suspect operation by Mr. Miles. The only question is what the cleanest punishment is. Bishop g4, also not a bad move. Once again, f3 forced. Yeah, bishop g4, I don't like too many hanging pieces. So bishop h3 is the showy move. Bishop b7 is probably the same move. And then after f3, something along castles or bishop b6. And we'll think about it when we get there. When we ever get there. So what shall I do? Long castles looks decent. Yeah, I'll do that, right? dc, queen c5, I win material. de is not a legal move. Yeah, looks good enough. My threat is to just go bishop b6, keeping my extra piece. Even though, yeah, currently I'm also threatening to remove the knight, so we'll see if Miles H can come up with a way to prolong the game. I can't really see it, because if after queen e2 I can still just go bishop b6. So it looks like knight takes e5 is not the way to punish that line. Doesn't look logical too. Either. And I'm being told, which is also correct, that I could have started with bishop b6, rook e1, castles, rook e5, queen e5. Same deal, more or less, like this line, where once again he can't take on e5. But yeah, it's true, earlier I was talking about that line. I stopped at rook e1. That would have been just as good. But I could not see anything. And when chess players say something like bishop b6, they normally mean exactly bishop e6, at least in my case. But since you want to be vague and non-committal, you say something like blah, blah, blah. Something like takes twice, rook e1, something like knight d3, rook e4, knight c1. Then something like not losing the knight on c1. I could also just go somewhere, but you know how I feel about leaving pawns behind. And you would also be correct in pointing out that after queen e4, bishop e4, rook e1, I could and probably should just play f5, keeping most of the advantages of my position, such as the extra piece for nothing. Miles H888 does not seem overly concerned about the missing piece. Like, I'm sure it's on his list of worries, it's just not as high up there as on some other people's list. And who can blame him? What way to live your life would it be to just worry about being a piece down all the effing time? Not gonna be able to do it. Or maybe this is also possible. Maybe Miles H is not aware that he's a piece down. I don't mean this as an insult, but it sometimes happens that you go for some long operation, like starting with knight e5, then you assume you somehow took your piece back. And then 1,000 moves later, you just look at the position and you realize, whoa, I never got that piece back. Where did it all go wrong? I don't know. These are just working theories. Now here's a check. But maybe now that the knights disappeared, it became obvious that I have two bishops and white only has one. So Miles called it a day. Thanks for the game. Yeah, knight takes e5 strikes me as a bad idea there. All right, another jeu d'échecs. I'd like to play against somebody that's mostly harmless. So let's do that. And since this is the show where we play exciting openings, it is time for another episode of Jan is trying to learn the Mora Gambit in a blitz game. Looks like mostly harmless is a big specialist on the Mora Gambit. He's blitzing out stuff at least. Well, I don't know anything, but I will try. Ugh. This is awkward already. Knight e5 is coming or bishop f3 followed by knight e5. Is this like a refutation of the Mora Gambit? What was I supposed to do? Maybe I was supposed to stop bishop g4 by playing h3? I don't know. One day I will intensify my Mora studies so that I can no longer be rattled by such surprising setups like this one with a6 and bishop g4. That looks very sensible. Because I do know, at least in my childhood, we were taught that knight f6, e5 is dangerous. So after a6 castles, knight f6, I guess e5 has been rendered harmless because we, control the b5 square. Here I'm guessing queen e2 is probably not the way to do it. Bishop g5 maybe. We will never know unless we bothered to look it up, which, let's face it, not very likely. Queen b8, very deep. I don't know what to do. Rook c1. What does he want to do? He probably wants to go bishop e7 and develop pieces, which would, of course, cause me great pain. It's a problem with these gambits. Sometimes you're just a pawn down, right? I don't really see anything constructive to do. Go away, or at least take here. Probably he should take here. Yeah, he does. Now knight e5 scares me, because then, really, not much to show for the missing piece. Missing pawn. It's not a piece yet. Not that I had a lot to show here, but at least now I can keep my pair of bishops and hope for, I don't know, not quite a miracle, but hope for the best. But yeah, this has not been a very successful episode of Giannis trying to learn the Mora so far. Gambits, man, they're tough if you're just a pawn down. What does he want? He wants to go b5, knight a4, he goes b5 anyway. Alright, time to start the harakiri operation to justify being a pawn down. I will just push my kingside. Really, no particular reason to be very optimistic about this either. Mostly harmless. Did you lie to me in your username? Would you do such a thing? Would you call yourself mostly harmless and then not play mostly harmless chess? I'm not sure if that's even allowed. That's misleading. And I'm not sure you're supposed to do that mostly. Gotta tell you. I will register a formal complaint against your username because I find it very offensive combined with your good play to call yourself mostly harmless. So we are in a sort of typical gambit situation. Got absolutely nothing as compensation for the pawn, and therefore I'm forced to, against my bad judgment, or I'm not really forced to, but that's often what you do, to overcompensate by playing very, very sharply, which probably is not really the right way to do it. The right way would be to try to make the best moves, which I believe is always the right way. But it's somehow feels like, ugh, I'm a pawn down. I can't just sit there and do nothing. I shall try to blast the position open. And then if I'm going to go down, I'm going to go down in a blaze of glory. At least that's probably the gambitier's mindset. Like, I hardly ever play any gambits, right? Except for, it's probably not true, but not a lot, except for the martial gambit. So I don't find myself in these situations very often. But I believe it's an important skill, which I'm just contradicting with my play, that when one is, let's say, a pawn down, you just continue the game normally and don't obsess about getting compensation or getting the pawn back, which is a mindset that I and probably many other people, once they find themselves a pawn down, will easily fall into. Now it looks like I'm getting somewhere, not that I'm very happy about my position, but now it looks like at least I built up a little bit on the king side. So good things could potentially happen. Mostly harmless. Will you consider d5 here? d5 I guess I should ignore and go queen g4. Hope for the best. Well, if not d5, let's say knight d3 looks logical. He goes d5. Then I can at least shuffle my rook over to g2 and try to get the position, open up a little further by going g6 at the right moment, or the wrong moment. Take it from there. So what's going on now? It looks like my position got a lot more active, but this is g3 square. I should be a little careful about that. Maybe I'll go here to see what happens. Feels like in the hands of a gifted attacker, this position would be very dangerous for black. Now, there's so many ideas. Bishop d4, rook f8, knight e4, knight f6, queen e6, something that, yeah, this looks very scary for black. And again, I've been called many things over the years, but gifted attacker has normally not been on that list. What has been on that list? I'd like to do something like queen e6, rook f8, rook g7, all the good stuff, but there's always this queen g3 check, which bothers me. Feels like there should be some solution to my many problems, but it also feels like I won't spot it. I don't know. This is certainly the wrong move, but yeah, I couldn't find a way through, which is a great pity. Yep, this did not go according to plan, even though I'm not quite sure if there ever was a plan, if I'm being perfectly honest. Which I rarely ever am. See my focused face, looking for tricks, but knight f6, gf never seems to work. Rook df7 was just a ridiculous move, really. Bishop d6, okay, threatens checkmate. My gut feeling is I should not allow the checkmate to happen. And I should not go too crazy trying to win a brilliancy prize. Just try not to lose on the spot. Check! Not a check. Belly check. That's a check, unfortunately. So, oof, what have I done now? I didn't see that was hanging. So now I'm lost. That is too bad. I was still kind of optimistic in my usual self-loathing way, but I just did not see this poor thing was gonna drop. That's really great pity. Rook g4, not very challenging move, let's to put it mildly. Oh boy. Good game by mostly harmless. Like, I feel like I should have been able to checkmate him somewhere along the way. But I could not figure it out, and yeah, then I just blundered my poor bishop on d4, which I, with hindsight, or in hindsight. Also, why not take on e6 is another valid question. I'll do it now, but I will agree that maybe I should have done it a move earlier. Yeah, this position does not really reflect the course of the game. It reflects mostly harmless's not very harmless attempts to actually not get flagged. Okay, so I'm gonna have to speed up a little bit, which is one thing I can normally do. One thing I normally can't do is checkmating with the queen though, but yeah, that didn't go according to plan. Like somewhere, okay, I mismanaged the opening, but that's understandable since I'm learning Mora Gambit only from my Banter Blitz games, so I got a bad position. But then somewhere around here I was quite happy again. But I did not manage to find the knockout. And in this position, it feels like there should be something, but just couldn't see it. Like this g3 square is always coming back to haunt or hunt me. That guy, it would be nice if he was forced to take here, king g7, bishop d4. But queen g3, always a bit of a nuisance. So yeah, maybe there's nothing. Maybe I should just take and take. Didn't look very inspiring either. So yeah, kudos to Mostly Harmless for outplaying me, really. Let's play. How much time do we have? We have like time for 2 more games, I would guess. Let's play 2 more games of chess. Ooh, another strong player. Finding Nemo Dad. So not just Finding Nemo, but Finding Nemo's dad, and you went for a T. Or is Nemo Dad something I should be familiar with? We play another good old Ruy Lopez. Queen e2. I don't know anything about that move. That's one of these moves that you never really bother to study because it doesn't look very scary somehow. But did Paco do it recently? I have a feeling Paco might have played it in a recent game. Is that correct? Can I go d5 here? Or is it too early for d5? Sometimes you can give that pawn in these positions. But I think it's probably after castles. I'm not so sure it worked here. But Finding Nemo Dad is going for probably the more sensible approach of just ignoring my ambitions to sacrifice a pawn with d5 and developing pieces. As I said, I'm not aware of theory here. It looks natural enough to go here and here, I would guess. I'm not sure if I should throw in some h6 at some point to stop him from checkmating me with some cruel and vicious knight to g5s. Because now it's too late for h6, since there's all these tactics of bishop h6, gh, bishop d5 and whatnot. So I don't want that. What shall I do here? Knight a5, bishop a2. Also doesn't look like the way to do it. Maybe just develop pieces, hope for the best. Je ne sais pas. Looks scary. I'm scared. Knight fg5. Is this all still some secret theory, Finding Nemo Dad? Maybe it's not even that secret. Like, I do recall there were some old Tivyakov games, like Tivyakov in the 2000s or maybe even the 90s. I feel like he was playing lines like this, and maybe he got some similar positions, but I'm not sure if it was with rook e1, rook d1, a3. Like, something like this looks vaguely familiar. I can't tell. So knight fg5. If I go knight d8, which I wanted to do, will I get checkmated after knight takes h7? King h7, queen h5, king g8, knight g5. Looks like I still have knight f6, even though it's a scary, scary situation. And I also gotta consider knight fg5, knight d8, takes, queen h5, king g8, bishop takes d5. Even though then I have queen d5, and after knight g5 it's checkmate. He goes knight eg5, okay. That keeps the option of going queen e4, even though queen e4 I have knight f6. So what's the plan after h6? Just to return to your spot? We'll find out. There's no time to ponder the big questions like that. Too long in a blitz game. I guess he just wants to go back, and then he has created the threat of bishop takes h6. And I will have to figure out what to do about it. Maybe go f5. Complicated position. Or king h8. Probably king h8 is a bit more prudent. Queen e4, knight f6. I just brushed that aside, even though it's also a bit scary to vacate this diagonal, and even queen h4. It's all quite scary. What are you doing to me, Finding Nemo's Dad? Or is it Finding Nemo Dad, D-E-A-D? That'd be much darker. I thought you were just teaming up with Dory to hunt down Nemo's father, or to find him. Maybe what you're saying is you find Nemo, but he's no longer with us. Oof, what's wrong with you, Finding Nemo Dad? As I said, king h8, who knows if that's the way to go, but it felt sensible to just no longer worry about all these bishop h6, bishop d5, knight f6 things. Knight d8 is also a bit of a weird move, but knight a5 is pointless now that he went bishop a2. And yeah, I guess f5 was the principal move. I'm not sure why I didn't play f5. Can I still do it? Looks weird with the knight on d8. I'll do it. Here, I guess. Ugh, knight h4. Ugh. Can I go knight f4? Maybe. I don't trust my position, but gotta make moves. Queen e3, can I go here? No, takes queen, knight e5. That feels like I should have something. We shall see. We shall see, Clinton. Weird position. But with the knight on f4, how bad can it be? Here, what did I say? It feels like I should have something. Queen d5 is a move. Isn't that a good move? Looks like a good starting point, at least. Threatening jaque mate. I'm not really winning material, or at least I don't see it yet after f3. But still feels like I should be able to do something annoying. Maybe knight takes g2 and then rook e5. Or bishop c5, then rook e5. What is the annoying way to handle this? Knight g2, knight g6, king f, king g8 doesn't really bother me, does it? No. I'll do this. Who knows? Very possible I'm missing a mate in 2 here, or I'm missing some option to win the game instantly. But you can only do what you see. And if you try sometimes, you see what you get. Wisdom, ladies and gentlemen. So knight g6, king g8, because king h7, knight f8 looks unfortunate. But yeah, there's no good follow-up for white as far as I can tell. Queen f2, maybe. Nothing looks very enticing. So he's going for the small is evil kind of thing, but now, of course, it's not a very pleasant position. I understand. I'm giving up the 2 bishops, but I'm also gaining something, or at least I hope so, in the form of access to all these squares. Like this one, for example. I mainly want access to the e3 square, but I will take e2. Therefore, Finding Nemo dead does resign. Yeah, interesting game. I note to self, I should check out this line at some point. I have a feeling here knight e5 doesn't feel critical, knight fg5 felt critical, or maybe a bishop a2 to prepare all these things. But yeah, interesting stuff. All right. Do we have time for one more? Yeah, I think I said 2 more, so let's play one more. Is there another Australian I can play? If there's not, I'll play someone non-Australian. But it feels like today is Aussie Day. So I'm checking the... Nope, looks like no more Australians. So we have to do the next best thing, which is an Austrian, which really is a short form of Australia. Austria is a place I've been to. I played many years in the Austrian League for Schachclub Hohenems. Those were good times. Yeah, I always enjoyed going there. I should at some point look for another Austrian club, because it's a very nice atmosphere in the Austrian League. It's not like in the German League, where you only play 2 games per weekend, but at least in the old days, and I'm guessing they haven't changed it, it was always like 3 or 4 games, so it makes some sense going there. And we are playing against Adominio. Is that a Pepe Cuenca picture as his avatar? That's disturbing. I played the Petrov mainly because I got sick of myself playing knight c6 here. And one problem with the Petrov, but you have such problems in many openings, is that white can sort of simplify the issue by doing stuff like this. I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. I'll play this move, which I'm sure is wrong, but at least it will annoy Adomino that he can't exchange queens. Or I'm not sure if it will annoy him. Maybe he just knows the ins and outs of this business. And he's saying, you know what? I've studied the details of this position on the board. And I am happy with what I got. I don't have a clue, but we're getting used to that. And I know I always say I don't have a clue, and then I say I remember stuff, which can both be true. Like you can not have a clue, and then a clue can come back. And what do? Bishop g4, takes. Nah, I don't really want to exchange queens. I believe I said that. Is d5 a threat? Not yet. Would be nice to be able to think of some move. Is this a move? Looks a bit ridiculous. King b1 instantly. Adomino says, I can't believe it took you that long to play h6. And I will go king b1 in a split second. I'm trying not to blunder any pieces against d4, d5, which I'm not sure I'm succeeding at. And long term, I would also like to develop some pieces myself, while maybe fighting for this d5 square, something like knight b4, knight bd5. Here, for example, now that d5 was a threat, it felt like high time to go for this knight b4 business, which has the nice side effect that it might have threatened bishop to f5. However, after a3, of course, that's no longer a consideration. I guess bishop takes. I should be a little careful not to blunder my queen on this diagonal. I will be a little careful about that. He goes c4, queen f5 check any point. Nah, I don't really want to give this bishop yet. Pre-move. Then again, if he sees, I think no one's probably watching. I still haven't figured out, but I think it's tough to watch the stream while you're playing because it's probably a little delayed, so you would lose too much time. But yeah, if he saw that I pre-move rook e8, he could go queen e4 and win the game, which would be dangerous. Even though he would have to anticipate that I could change my mind, like I just did. Ugh, so complicated. Queen a5. What's going on over there? Doesn't look like a highly populated area. Maybe I should make one active move. One active move per game. Has to be allowed. Knight g4. Threatening knight f2. Because I was planning to go bishop f8, but maybe it makes more sense to put this bishop on f6. Slightly more active square. Rook d2. What to do? All right. Looks like I've maneuvered slightly more successfully than my opponent so far because the white pieces now look a little silly. The bishop can't move. This bishop can't really go anywhere. So it's hard to come up with sensible things to do. Adomino tries to keep the candles burning by going c5. Ugh, queen c6 blunder. See, whenever I relax, I blunder instantly. That is one of my many great qualities as a human being, because I miss bishop b5. When I will argue that I have great compensation after queen d5, but of course, even if that turned out to be true, it would not be because of my great foresight. It would just be very dumb luck. Not that hard to see bishop b5, really. Oh, boy. Good that this is the last game. Mr. Adomino, don't get nervous. Exchange up. No reason to panic. Just keep making good moves and bring home the bacon. Time is ticking away. Queen a4, going for potential back rankses. No backsies. Still, I should rule them out. After cd, rook d6 would be very careless because of jaque. So, what's going on now? Ugh, chess is so complicated. Why do people never complain about how complicated chess is? Maybe they do? I think they do, I can't think of a move at all. Is this a move? Doesn't look like a move, right? It does not feel like a move humans should play. What I want to do is at some point somehow open this diagonal and go queen takes a3. But I feel like it won't be easy to manufacture that. Now after cd, at least I can pretend c, the point of h5. It covered the knight on g4. Deep insight. But I'm not so sure cd was. Did I just blunder this bishop? I pointed out this trick like 8 seconds ago. I am losing it. Just a rook, right? No pressure, Arduino, but you're a rook up now. I think you're supposed to convert this. And of course it's slightly rude not to resign being a rook down, but I'm having too much fun. A rook is a rook. Oh, knight f2s? We're not worried about knight f2s? Who exchanges queens and rook down? Is a valid question. But it feels like this is my best chance to get a little material back. Of course I'm still lost. But at least, you know, we get something to work with here. While had I not exchanged queens, I would have stayed in this rook is a rook situation. It did not look very enjoyable either. So yeah, it's a sad, sad situation. Sorry seems to be the hardest word. Even though I want to apologize in advance for the flag job that will no doubt follow here. I don't feel good about it. I don't feel terrible about it, like not as terrible as losing an actual game, but it still does not fill me with great pride or joy to flag you in a lost position, Arduino. I will tell you the truth. Even though my very happy sound of voice probably gives away that I might just lie. No, I prefer winning a normal game. Like, I much prefer winning a bad game to not winning, but still, given the choice, I would rather win a normal game of chess. Counterplay. And Arduino resigns because rook e2 followed by rook e8 would come. Yeah, sorry about that. Once again, we have reasons to suspect that brain death might be kicking in. Because remember how full of myself I was for going h5, cd, rook d6 and covered that knight? When I had mentioned like 8 seconds earlier that I should try not to blunder queen e8 followed by queen e4. Anyway, that was, yeah, a lovely game of chess that sums up today's episode, which is beat Australians or Austrians by any means necessary. What else do I have to tell you? I think that was it. I think, like I said, since I'm still at the start of the show was a 76% chance, I think we're up to 81%. I'll be doing commentary in German on the World Cup semifinals tomorrow. Aronian against Maxi Boy, MVL, and Wesley So versus Ding Liren. The lowest rated of these four guys is 2771, so in spite of all the favorites we've seen losing early on, it's four pretty tough players that made it to these semifinals. So I'll be doing that. In case you're not a premium member yet, if you not only want to play against me, but also get access to all these great video series, this is a good time to go premium, because I think we have this new promotion for the World Cup that still gives you a lot of free month. Like if you get a 1-year premium membership now, then you choose your, hang on, they gave me this graphic here. So you get a premium membership, you choose your favorite semi-finalist, because unfortunately Svidler is out, and then you get 1 month added per, if you get an annual membership per classical draw he makes. I don't know how stuff works. It's like 6 classical games left. So if you pick the right horse, that could be a lot of month. Anyway, great time to purchase a premium membership because I'm also blundering more rooks than I used to. So your chance to score a Grandmaster scalp, is that an English word, are higher than ever, even though it might only be my scalp. And with the speed in which my hairline is receding, it will soon be a literal scalp, even though I might not know the meaning of scalp. That's it for today. Thank you guys so much for playing. Thank you for watching. Apologies to all of you that I did not manage to play. Same old, same old. See you soon. Bye. Ooh, wrong button. This button? Here we go. Bye.